Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. 38th favorite dad in the family community, Papa West, Jacob West, here for another exciting episode of TMG Takes the Field, our weekly show where we talk about sports, mainly just football. Actually, just football today. I have a fun episode. Well, yes, there's no real football on over the weekend because let's be honest, the Pro Bowl is nowhere near what it used to be. We still have some stuff to talk about. So, without further ado, I'm going to bring in my first guest. Yes, that's right. I said first guest. Everyone's favorite starch, Tato. Tato, how's it going?
Doing good, man. I remember Adrian Peterson going hard, just full force ham sandwich in those Pro Bowls. So unnecessary.
Yeah.
I don't remember. I wasn't there, but Jack Youngblood breaks his leg in the NFC Championship game, plays in the Super Bowl, and then plays in the Pro Bowl after that for no reason. Pro Bowl used to mean something. It still definitely means something. I respect the honor. Would be super cool if we could just have if we could just turn off injuries in real life and let these guys go to town on each other in a real game would be fantastic. Yeah. I don't mind the flag though.
Okay. Yeah, no, one thing I really have enjoyed too is the fact that they've been bringing back all the skill stuff. Because I'm sorry, watching Matt Hasselbeck just throw the ball as far as he can, I found so much joy in that. And then you make fun of Peyton Manning because Peyton Manning sucks. He can only throw the ball 60 yards. Matt Hasselbeck can throw it 85. So much better of a quarterback. But I did want to ask you real quick. Obviously, news all around. Hall of Fame voting has been taking place. And we don't know who all's in the Hall of Fame, but we do know one thing. Bill Belichick will not be a first ballot Hall of Fame coach. Tato, how do you feel about that?
I mean, it's absurd. I can't it's wild. I'm not it's not like I'm a huge Patriots dick rider or anything, but the dude is objectively the best coach of all time. He's got the most 16-win seasons, the most 15-win seasons, the most 14-win seasons, the most 13-win seasons, it is bananas to me. And for as much of a Bears fan as I am, this is objectively more ridiculous than Hester not being first ballot.
Yeah. All right. Well, then, like I said before, we have guests, multiple today. Introducing next, I have been trying to get this man on this show so many times. Countless messages of just me, hey, hop on tonight. And then, hey, I'm busy, I'm sorry. Or some just not even replying because he doesn't want to let me down. But he let me down every single week. Except for this week, he finally made it. The second best Jacob on this stream, Jacob Barber. Jacob, how's it going?
It's going well. Yeah, no, finally, I'm happy to be here and talking some football. The Pro Bowl is ridiculous when two of the quarterbacks that will be participating have both been on the Cleveland Browns roster this season. So,
Yeah. You're not wrong. The fact that a quarterback who threw, 10 interceptions and 6 touchdowns is a Pro Bowl quarterback. But just like I asked Tato, Bill Belichick, not a Hall of Famer, not a first ballot Hall of Famer. What are your thoughts?
I mean, I think Brady would have 8 or 9 Super Bowls if he had a Hall of Fame coach by his side instead of just 6. So, I mean, obviously coaching was holding them back. Never mind the fact that he's just a winning coach. And, it's ridiculous. How he's not first ballot that's going to be the biggest, that's the biggest question in just sports, I think. Why? How?
Yeah.
What did he do?
I do need to correct you though. Tom Brady only a 3.5-time Super Bowl champ. Giselle did get the other half.
Oh yeah, you're right. My bad. I forgot.
So, all right, and our final guest, I have been trying to get him on one of these calls for years, and every single time he turns me down. He's like, "No, Papa, Unless we're talking about the 1993 and 1994 Dallas Cowboys, because I can just name that as a team and nothing else. I'm not going to be good. And I'm like, dude, you're the funniest person I know. You have to be on one of these. And I actually didn't even expect him to pop up, but he just randomly popped on. So Jordan Pierce Owens, JPO, how's it going?
Mike McDonald is no Pete Carroll, but he'll do. Baba Booey, Matt Cardona for the Royal Rumble win. Yeah.
The sad part is I have no idea who he's picking for the Royal Rumble. So
Zack Ryder.
You said Mike
Okay.
McDonald.
Matt Cardona.
yeah,
Mike McDonald is showing up in Saudi tomorrow.
there is no Zack Ryder in WWE anymore. But I have given y'all your time to talk about it. Now time for my talk. Kind of like how I talked about Tom Brady when he first retired. I can't stand the man, but I do have to respect him. Same with Bill Belichick. Cannot stand the man, but I do have to respect him. I know there's a lot of speculation on Spygate and Deflategate, and that being what's causing him not to be a first ballot Hall of Famer. Whether that's going to keep him out of the Hall of Fame or not, I don't know. After all, there are a ton of people who think Barry Bonds will never be in the Hall of Fame, even though he is the career home run leader. But I will say it is a travesty because, well, yes, he has those scandals behind him. Everything he did, every other coach in the NFL does. The only difference is he got caught. And so I do hope that the Hall of Fame voters who voted no swallow their pride because, yeah, there's no way a 700-plus career win coach, most playoff appearances, most playoff wins, most Super Bowl appearances, and again, most Super Bowl wins as a head coach, should have been a first ballot. Hopefully they swallow their pride because I can't stand the man. We have to respect it, and he does belong in the Hall of Fame. But we do need to move on and talk about our games that happened last week. And oh boy, is this a tale of two games. It was the best of the conference championship games, and then it was the worst of the conference championship games. Starting off our AFC championship game in Denver, Colorado. The Patriots traveling to take on the Broncos. Fun fact, had the Patriots beat the Raiders in week 1, this game would have been in Foxborough, where there was 10 inches of snow. But instead it was in Denver, where at game time, it was all sunny, not a cloud in the sky. And then by the third quarter, it was worse in Denver than it was in Foxborough. But this was very much a defensive battle, struggle, if you want to call it that. Patriots get the win 10-7. Jarrett Stidham had a decent performance, especially in the first quarter. Starting the game off with a scoring drive, throwing a really nice touchdown. But then the Patriots getting a defensive touchdown towards the end of the second half, and then the only points that happened in the second half were that field goal. Patriots get the win 10-7. Tato, what are your thoughts on that one?
Yeah, I actually enjoy a good defensive battle in the snow. It is fun, classic football for me. For as much as I try not to be the old get off my lawn guy, I can do that from time to time. So I didn't mind it too much when it became snowy. And obviously, the players are going to struggle to some degree, especially when you're just not when you're playing two different games in one game. It is extremely hard to prepare for both situations. So shout out to both teams. Shout out to all the coaching staff on that one. Good football game from my perspective, even though it wasn't the most exciting, flashy game.
And Jacob, any thoughts on this game?
Yeah, it's kind of unfortunate because I don't think this is the Patriots team that we're going to see in the Super Bowl. It's just, a matter of, circumstance and your setting. But it was, I like points. I like points being scored. I like touchdowns, but it's nice to switch it up every once in a while, get a nice defensive struggle as you put it. And like I was just waiting for somebody to rip off like just one big play in the snow, and but I'm excited for different reasons because 12 years ago, it still lives rent free in my head, and so I'm ready to correct that.
Well, get ready to sign a new lease because that play is it's been going on consistently this last week. It's gonna be played so much more. Probably is gonna be played 7 times during the actual game itself. And God forbid the Seahawks have the ball down by 3 points with seconds left on the goal line. Because whoever's commentating that game. Now, I remember the last time we saw this exact scenario pan out. Let's see if they do it again. But no, I definitely agree with y'all on sentiments. Those snow games can definitely be fun. I look back growing up watching it was when Eli Manning had that Super Bowl run and he played the Packers in the NFC Championship. Starts snowing, and what's he do? He starts making snowballs, hitting his teammates with them. But then also even last year, we talked about wanting that one great play to happen. And I believe it was the Eagles playing the Rams when it started downpouring in that second half. And yeah, Saquon had one big run to kind of give Philadelphia the huge edge to pull out the win there. Unfortunately, we didn't see any of that this week. But when you have a backup quarterback, has not played a snap all year long, you don't really expect much. And the Broncos haven't really had that good of a run game. Patriots have had a better one, and you saw they were able to get down the field quite a bit. Just that defense was too much for them to capitalize on too much. But yeah, the Patriots are representing the AFC in the Super Bowl. Then we move on that night, the NFC Championship game, the Seahawks versus the Rams. Huge offensive battle, multiple touchdowns scored, both quarterbacks over 300 yards passing, each 3 touchdowns. But the Seahawks get the win 31-27. Jacob, any thoughts on that game?
Oh yes, as a Seahawks fan, I loved this game. Huge respect to the Rams. The Rams, arguably a top 3 team in the league, despite them being number 5 in the conference. That's just how the seeding goes. But I knew it was going to be a battle just based off their previous encounters in the regular season. I love that the Seahawks road to the Super Bowl was both division rivals. I think that was fantastic, and just hey, we run the West this year. By the way, 41-6. Oh, I love that game.
We're not talking about that game.
I know, but San Francisco, back off. No, if you would have told me that Sam Darnold would have identical stats to Matthew Stafford, I would have said you're crazy. They're going to win this game because of their run game. That's what it's been, and their defense. No, it was Sam Darnold had them in the game from the beginning. It was back and forth. Some key mistakes by the Rams. Yeah, some penalties on the Seahawks side. Like it kept it close, and down to that final pass to Puka, who unfortunately came down inbounds. Who knows what would happen if he was able to get out with 3 seconds on the clock. But no, Walker had a great game. I was curious how that was going to go with Charbonnet out now. But he stepped up, made big plays when he needed to. Darnold made big plays with his arm. The defense stepped up. Not the defense that we're used to seeing from Seattle, but they stepped up, made plays when they needed to. Especially on that 4th down where Stafford threw it in the end zone. Great play there. And then Seattle was just able to, chew most of the clock out. So yeah, I don't know if the Seattle team is as good as that Super Bowl winning team. But it's close. I think there's a discussion to be had. This team is good.
All right. And Tato, any thoughts on that game?
Yeah, this was a fun football game to watch. I got to watch the first half with Jay, and then he had to dip, so I had to play by play the second half for him. So that was also pretty fun. And yeah, just very tight booty. Trading blows back and forth when they needed to. I mean, obviously the opposite of that last one, but still a separation of 3 points, and it doesn't really matter how you get there as long as you have more points at the end, obviously. So stating the obvious a little bit. But yeah, Darnold good. Makes me happy to see that guy doing good. I would have never predicted anything ill about him ever. I recall saying in week 5 last year, he's definitely going to win the Super Bowl next year. I think that's what I said.
I'll have to rewatch the video because I don't remember you saying that.
Yeah, something like that.
I don't remember anyone saying that ever.
Yeah, it's good to see the Seahawks in it. And what I was going to say, as much as I wanted the Bears to be the Seahawks opponents, the Rams and the Seahawks were the best teams in the NFC this year. So I think that one definitely ended up correct, as I think I mentioned last show. And
I remember that one. You said that.
Was proven correct, I think, by virtue of that game and how good it was.
But yeah, so our Super Bowl is the Seahawks versus the Patriots in Santa Clara. So one team a lot of traveling, one team not a lot of traveling. We'll see how that works. And this is also a Jets fan's worst nightmare. Because if being a Jets fan wasn't bad enough, you are seeing a quarterback you drafted 3rd overall ahead of Josh Allen versus probably your biggest rival. So yeah, that's a fun tidbit right there. But I did want to talk real quick. We have had a couple coach hirings that happened this week. First off, it really wasn't the first one, but the Buffalo Bills have promoted Joe Brady, their former offensive coordinator, to now their head coach. So a nice little internal hire there. I believe they have hired an offensive coordinator too, but I'm not sure on that one because I'm not looking at that list right now. And then the Cleveland Browns called everyone. I got a couple phone calls from Cleveland too. Decided not to answer them because I don't answer phone calls. But they have hired Todd Monken, former Ravens offensive coordinator, will be their head coach. So now there are only 2 left, and I just closed it out before I could say it. So we'll see how good my memory is. The Cardinals and the Raiders, as of right now, are your 2 teams still looking for head coaches. Also, fun news, the Eagles hired an offensive coordinator, Sean Mannion. He's a former quarterback. Quarterback's coach from the Packers. So I'm kind of excited about that.
And not so fun news, the Bears now have to hire an offensive coordinator because in wake of Todd Monken leaving Baltimore, they swiped Declan Doyle.
Yep.
Screw you, AFC North.
The Buccaneers are also searching for an offensive coordinator because their offensive coordinator, passing game coordinator, which you know what the best news of all of that is? Kevin Patullo doesn't have a job because he was the passing game coordinator. A lot of speculation that he was going to stay in-house, just no longer the coordinator. Well, that was his job, so I don't know what he's doing now. But I did want to talk about 2 more things. The first one is the Pro Bowl roster. Not going to go too in-depth on the actual Pro Bowl itself, but I did just want to share roster. Obviously, this list that I am going to pull from has both the original roster and then also some of the alternates. So everyone I'm going to say had the honors of being on the Pro Bowl, but is not necessarily going to be partaking in the festivities. So starting off with the AFC, we do have the 3 quarterbacks who made it. Josh Allen, Justin Herbert, and Drake May. Obviously, Drake May will not be there as he's in the Super Bowl. Our running backs, we have Devon Achane, James Cook, and Jonathan Taylor. Patrick Ricard at fullback. Jamar Chase, Nico Collins, Zay Flowers, Cortland Sutton, and T. Higgins are our receivers. That being said, Zay Flowers is stepping away due to injury, so he will not be competing. At tight end, we have Brock Bowers, Travis Kelce, Dalton Kincaid, and Tyler Warren. Travis and Brock both will sit out due to injuries. At tackle, we have Joe Alt, Garrett Bowles, and Deion Dawkins. Creed Humphrey and Tyler Lindenbaum at center. And then at guard, we have Quinn Miners, Quentin Nelson, Trey Smith. And then on the defensive side, we have defensive line, Zach Allen, Chris Jones, and Jeffrey Simmons. At our defensive end, we have Will Anderson Jr., Max Crosby, and Myles Garrett. At outside linebacker, Nick Benito, Tuli Tupilotu, and TJ Watt. Inside linebacker, we have Aziz Al-Shaair, Roquan Smith, and Devin Lloyd. Cornerback, Christian Gonzalez, who's in the Super Bowl, Derek Stingley, Patrick Surtain, Denzel Ward, and Kamari Lassiter. At safety, we have Jalen Ramsey, who will not be partaking due to injury, Kyle Hamilton, Derwin James, and Kalen Bullock. Kicker, we have Dicker the kicker, Cameron Dicker. Punter, Jordan Stout. Kick return, Chimeri Dike, Ben Skoranek, and then at long snapper, Ross Matisic.
How did Cam Little not make the Pro Bowl in the preseason?
I don't know. Because he's in the same division as Dicker the kicker. That's why, Tato. And then for the NFC, we have Sam Darnold, Dak Prescott, and Matthew Stafford, and Jared Goff at quarterback. Again, Sam Darnold will not compete due to being in a Super Bowl. What? Sam Darnold in the Super Bowl? That's crazy. At running back, we have Jahmyr Gibbs, Christian McCaffrey, and Bijan Robinson. Kyle Juszczyk at fullback. Receiver, Puka Nacua, George Pickens, Jackson Smith, and Jigba. Again, will not be playing. Amon-Ra St. Brown and CeeDee Lamb. George Kittle at tight end, although he is not playing due to an injury, and Trey McBride. At offensive tackle, we have Penei Sewell, Trent Williams, and Tristan Wirfs. Center, Drew Dahlman and Cam Jurgens. Guard, Chris Lindstrom, Tyler Smith, and Joe Tooney. And then on our defensive line, Jalen Carter, Leonard Williams, who will not be playing, and then Quinnen Williams. Defensive end, Aiden Hutchinson, DeMarcus Lawrence, who will not be playing, and then Micah Parsons, who should be on the list of not playing, but is not on the list of not playing because of injury. So do better.
He back.
What?
Nope, he back.
Really?
He back for the Pro Bowl. No, I'm talking. No.
Come on, Tato. You can't be saying stuff like that. I'm so gullible. He should definitely not be playing because he tore his ACL. Do better, sportingnews.com. At outside linebacker, Brian Burns, Jared Verse, and Byron Young. Inside linebackers, Zach Bond and Jack Campbell. And then at cornerbacks, we have Cooper DeJean, J.C. Horn, Quinyon Mitchell, who will not be competing due to injury, Devon Witherspoon, who will not be competing due to being in the Super Bowl, Nashawn Wright, Kysene Nixon, Kevin Byard, and Antoine Winfield Jr. and Budda Baker at safety. Brandon Aubrey is your kicker. Tress Way is your punter. Rashid Shaheed is listed at kick return, but again will not be playing. Then you also have Luke Gifford, and then at long snapper, John Weeks. Now I do also have the list of alternates. For the AFC side, Jaguars inside linebacker Devin Lloyd is replacing TJ Watt. Shadur Sanders is replacing Drake May. Joe Flacco was added, but there's no reports on who he's replacing, if he's replacing anyone. T. Higgins will be replacing Zay Flowers. Dalton Kincaid will be replacing Travis Kelce. Tyler Warren will be replacing Brock Bowers. Kamari Lassiter is replacing Christian Gonzalez, and Kalen Bullock will be replacing Jalen Ramsey. And then in the NFC side, Jake Ferguson will be replacing George Kittle. Nashawn Wright will be replacing Quinyon Mitchell. Kaishawn Nixon will be replacing Devin Witherspoon. Jared Goff is replacing Sam Darnold. CeeDee Lamb is replacing Jackson Smith and Jigba. And then Jalen Hurts will also be in at quarterback. But again, nothing revealing who he is replacing. So there is your list of Pro Bowlers, both official roster and then kind of some of the replacements on there. And I hate to do it, but we need to talk about Shedeur. In what world is Shedeur Sanders a Pro Bowler?
This one apparently.
What happened there? Did they call everybody else and everybody else said no?
Maybe
Flacco got back to them late, and they were like, "Well, we already offered it to Shedeur." And they're like, "Well, we can't tell him no."
What happened? What I think happened is they sent the letter to the mail. They accidentally sent it to Shedeur's house instead of Joe Flacco's house. Got the call up from Shedeur. Yeah, I want to be in. Whoever took the call is like, darn it, we sent the wrong person, but we already told them yes, so they had to send it to Joe Flacco.
Maybe they were trying to get Dion as a coach again, or
that could be trying to get on his good side to get him to join the NFL. I'm not sure, but we will leave the speculation there as far as what happened, even though it's confusing. But the final thing I want to talk about, and this will be our predictions for this week. We will not be predicting the Super Bowl. That will be next week, Friday at whatever time I decide to do this at.
I have no idea what I'm going to pick for the Super Bowl.
It's a tough choice. I'm in the exact same boat because I can't stand one team. So we do have next Thursday NFL honors where a lot of awards will be handed out to. I have the list of all the awards and all the finalists for it. So I'm going to go over the award, who's up for it, and then we're going to go through predictions, who we think gets it. So AP, most valuable player, because of course we got to do the best first, because there's no suspense in TMG Takes the Field. So our MVP finalists are Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Drake May, Christian McCaffrey, and then Matthew Stafford. Tato, who do you have winning the MVP this year?
I have the old man slightly edging out the young gun, even though that one is going to the Super Bowl and the other one will be sitting at home after this weekend. I do think it is Stafford's turn at this one. And I mean, yeah, it's a little different than the Oscars. I don't really do like career achievement MVPs, but this, I mean, he had the season to have the MVP, and he definitely deserves it. So, Matty Stafford.
All right, and Jacob, who is your pick?
Yeah, if we were using the word valuable, as in who is most valuable to their team, I think Christian McCaffrey should win this award. But it's never given to who should win the award based on the definition of valuable. So yeah, it's Matthew Stafford. He's had an incredible season. He absolutely deserves it.
If Christian McCaffrey led the 49ers to the number 1 overall seed, I do think they would give it to him. But I am actually going to go opposite what y'all are saying. I'm going to go with the other person everyone thinks is going to win it, and that's Drake May. I mean, really looking at their seasons, they both have had very similar seasons. They both have had very high highs, not necessarily any low lows, but they've had a couple struggles. And they say MVP is a regular season award and not a full season award. But there's a reason Josh Allen got it last year as opposed to Lamar Jackson, when Lamar probably had the better season. And that's because Josh Allen beat him. And while the the Rams and Patriots did not play each other. One team had a better finish to the season as far as standing, and one team made it a little further. And I definitely think there are just a couple things on that end that is going to give Drake May just enough of an edge in the voters' eyes to give it to him. But that's just me personally.
I just have a hard time giving it to anyone who lost to the Raiders.
I mean, I can go through that list and find someone who lost to the Raiders, but
I'm sure.
it is the NFL season. You talk about parity. One of the best teams got absolutely embarrassed by the worst team. Next, it's the AP Defensive Player of the Year. Up for this award is Will Anderson Jr., Nick Benito, Myles Garrett, Aiden Hutchinson, and Micah Parsons. So Jacob, I'm gonna
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Myles Garrett.
Myles Garrett.
Yeah, you're not wrong. I was gonna go there too, but I was gonna try to give Jacob some thunder. Jesus, Tato. No, Myles Garrett breaking the record. It would be an absolute abomination if they give it to anybody else.
Are you not going to do it? No?
What?
It would be like Belichick not being a first ballot Hall of Famer.
No, I wasn't going to do it. No, it would be like if he doesn't get it, Myles Garrett's going to stand up and break the record for most sacks in a game by sacking everyone in attendance for not getting it. So there you go. There's my bold prediction of Myles Garrett sacks, because it would not be an episode of TMG Takes the Field without one. So I guess since we're not going to actually do predictions there, thanks, Tato. We're going to move on to AP Offensive Player of the Year. Up for this award, we have Drake May, Christian McCaffrey, Puka Nacua, Bijan Robinson, or Jackson Smith and Jigba. Jacob, who do you think is going to win this one?
This one, it's actually as close. You know, I feel like, Drake May and Christian McCaffrey, they're up for MVP, so obviously it's going to be one of them. But it's hard to deny the season that both Puka and JSN had. Arguably the top two receivers in the league. If only Justin Jefferson had a better quarterback, am I right? They have very similar stat lines. Puka did it with one less game. I'm gonna go Puka, and it hurts to do that because JSN, that's my boy. But man, Puka before I change my mind.
Okay, you're going with Puka. I can't believe you just did that. And so, because JSN is 100% watching the show, in an effort to get you back to us, because your fan just abandoned you, I'm not going to abandon you. I'm going to go with JSN. Again, very similar stats, but JSN was really the only weapon that Sam Darnold had at receiver. Yeah, he had Kupp and then Rashid Shaheed, but they weren't putting anything near what JSN was doing. And Puka had a lot of stats taken away from him because of Devontae Adams. So I do think they're going to go with JSN. Tato, what about you?
Yeah, I definitely fenced between the same two guys here a little bit, but I did ultimately settle on JSN myself here. So,
all right. Next, we have, in my opinion, the second hardest award to come away to predict who's going to win it, and that is the Offensive Rookie of the Year. The people who are up for this, we have Jackson Dart, Emeka Egbuka, Travion Henderson, Teteroa McMillan, and Tyler Shuck. I'm going to go first. Again, like I was saying, it's really hard, at least in my opinion, because at the beginning of the season, Emeka was running away with it. And then it was like week 5 or 6, he just disappeared. And he never had a game close the rest of the season as what he was doing at the beginning of the season. And then you have Jackson Dart. kind of had that sensational run for a little bit, but was always hyped up, even though the Giants never really did anything this year. Teteroa McMillan was consistent, but not in a good way because it was the Panthers. But was making some good catches, making some touchdown grabs, basically the whole season, but still nowhere near what Emeka was doing at the beginning. And then you have the last two, Travion Henderson, who I don't know why Mike Vrabel just would not give it to. And then you look at the last 8 or 9 games where he finally started letting Travion run. And Travion's going for 200-300 yards, multiple touchdowns, like could not be stopped. And then Tyler Shuck, who didn't play for most of the first half of the season, finally got to play, did decently. But the last 5-6 games of the season was looking like the best quarterback in the NFC South. So it's definitely the tale of two halves of the season. First half, easily Emeka. Second half, Travion and Tyler, only people in the argument. But I think because Travion was being successful a little bit longer, I do think they give him an edge and they give him the award. Tato, what's your thought here?
Yeah, I think there was just, like you said, the tale of two halves, and you did mention the consistency of Tet McMillan, and even though it wasn't the highest level of consistency, I do think that Tet pulls it off just based on the, like, he stuck around, like the Panthers did punch a ticket to the playoffs somehow. So I think that you did mention, like, it is kind of a what have you done for me lately? The playoffs can make a difference. So maybe the Panthers sneaking in over the Bucks somehow, even though it was just by a weird rock, paper, scissors situation.
You couldn't even win the game. That's the crazy thing.
Yeah.
All right. So Tato is going with Teteroa McMillan. Jacob, what's your thought here?
Yeah, I'm going to go with McMillan as well. 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns, helped get the Panthers to the playoffs. Even despite being in the NFC South, which, don't hold that against him. I think he can win. I think all 5 finalists are good. Emeka, if he just continued what he was doing in the first half of the season, I think it's the Emeka Ibuka award plus everyone else. But I think Tet, what he was able to do with the Panthers, just puts him over the top.
Okay. All right. Next we have the AP Defensive Rookie of the Year. Finalists for this, we have Abdul Carter, Nick Imanwari, James Pierce Jr., Carson Sweshinger, and then Xavier Watts. Tato, I'll have you go first.
Yeah, I do think Nick Imanwari is really, really good, and he had a really solid season. But I started paying attention to the Schlesinger kid about halfway through the season, and I think the kid is for real. I think he wins this one.
All right, and Jacob.
I think you're wrong. I think Imanwari is going to win this, especially. It's kind of like with the Tet thing. Like he helped them. He was really a solid part of that defense and helped get them to the playoffs. And what he's been able to do in the playoffs. I think it's a regular season award, I'm sure, but you got to take some things into account and the plays he's been able to make. I think yeah, it'd be weird if the Browns are this bad of a team, but they take home 2 awards
on defense.
At the end of the season. Hey, maybe work on your offense, Cleveland. But Imanwari to make up for my JSN pick earlier.
Yeah, and it'd be incredible if 2 Browns defenders won awards. And it's like you just need to get rid of the team, probably except for those 2 players. But no, I agree. Yes, I do agree with Tato. Schlesinger did great, especially in the middle of the season. To be able to get stats when you have Myles Garrett in front of you is incredible. But I think one thing that goes against him is the fact that he did get hurt. He missed, I believe, it was the last 5 games of the season. Not gonna lie, I'm very surprised Abdul Carter's on here because he spent more time on the bench because of punishments than he did actually play. But no, I'm gonna go with Nicky Manwari. Again, had a solid season on a stacked defense. And yeah, was pretty consistent all year too. So I am gonna go there, Nicky Manwari. Next we have the AP Comeback Player of the Year. Finalists for this award, we have Stephon Diggs, Aiden Hutchinson, Trevor Lawrence, Christian McCaffrey, and Dak Prescott. So I think this might be another one of those Defensive Player of the Year. Well, let's see. Tato, who's your pick?
I'm gonna go. CMC played 17 games.
Yeah, I think he played 17 games.
Yeah, we'll give him that one.
Okay, and Jacob.
Yeah, CMC played all 17 games. Yeah, and again, helped keep the 49ers, who dealt with a plethora of injuries this season, and still helped keep them competitive. Trevor Lawrence also played all 17 games and helped lead the Jaguars to the playoffs after only playing 10 games last season, threw for over 4,000 yards. I think it's between those two, helping get their teams to the playoffs. I know Stephon Diggs too, but I'm between Trevor Lawrence and Christian McCaffrey. I wouldn't be surprised if the one I don't pick gets it, but I'm going to go with Trevor Lawrence.
Okay. I'm going to go with Christian McCaffrey. To miss almost every game last year, except for like 2, I think, to again playing every single year. Like if I were to tell you every single starter on the 49ers offense and defense is going to suffer at least one major injury and be out for multiple weeks, anywhere from 4 to 12, except for one. Who is that one person that you would say does not get injured this year? I can tell you who you're not going to say. That's not going to be Christian McCaffrey. And yeah, it's incredible. He played. He stayed healthy all year, and really was the lifeblood of that team. Who, again, every other starter suffered some sort of injury, and he was consistently there to really give that team some wins that nobody saw them winning. Mac Jones went 4-0 as a starter for him. Nobody saw that coming. He wouldn't have done it without Christian McCaffrey, though. I don't see a world where he doesn't win that one, and that's kind of why I don't think he wins Offensive Player of the Year, is because they're going to give him that one. But next we have Coach of the Year. Finalists for this award: Liam Cohen, Ben Johnson, Mike McDonald, Kyle Shanahan, and Mike Vrabel. Jacob, I will have you go first.
Yeah, and I'm looking at all 5 of these teams, and I think before the season started, you would have expected for sure one of them to be in the playoffs, and that's the 49ers. Not all 5 of them. This one's tough. What Shanahan was able to do despite all the injuries and still lead them to a 12-5 record, I think is incredible. But I'm a Seattle Seahawks fan. I cannot go with Kyle Shanahan. It's just there's principles here. I think those late season games, I think that head to head, I think tipped it in. And you can call this a homer pick all you want. I'm going Mike McDonald. Nobody expected the Seahawks to be the number 1 seed. Nobody expected them to be this good. Maybe the defense, but you lose DK. Nobody expected this rise from JSN this quickly. Like we knew he was going to be good, but leading the league in receiving yards, I with Sam Darnold as your quarterback, I don't know if people expected that. Yeah, lead that with that defense, number one seed, the best point differential. Like I think he has a lot to do with that. I wouldn't be surprised to see any of these 5 win. I'm going Mike McDonald.
All right, now I get to go next. And yeah, you look at that list, and I wouldn't be surprised if people said Mike Vrabel at the beginning of the year too would bring the Patriots to the playoffs. I was thinking a little more last wild card spot, but that was I actually think I had him missing, but again by like 1 or 2 games. But I do think in the world of the NFL, there are some coaches who just do not get this award because they have proved time and time again they're a phenomenal coach. And I do kind of think Kyle Shanahan falls under that basket of no matter what, even if he basically is playing third or fourth string practice squad players and still had success. It's just one of those where he's shown he's too good of a coach. Same reason Andy Reid doesn't get it every year, except for this year. Come on, Chiefs. But I want to look at what team had the best turnaround and really came from nowhere. And again, I said the Patriots had a nice turnaround, but I think a lot of people were expecting them to be tremendously better than what they were last season. The Seattle Seahawks, people were kind of talking about the Seahawks team to be one of those surprise. I heard Rich Eisen say surprise divisional winner. Don't be surprised if they just sneak up because everyone's talking about the 49ers and the Rams. And then the Bears, again, people talking about Caleb having those signs of being a great quarterback. But was anybody talking about the Jaguars? Was anybody expecting them to do anything this year?
I was expecting them to Duval.
Yes. Darn it, Tato, you took my joke.
Shit, sorry. I tried not to take the last one, and then you didn't have it set up, and then I had to do it. And
I get it. No, I think a lot of people were expecting the Jaguars to be a top 10 team in draft order, not in overall standings. I think Liam Cohen gets this award, and when he's in his doing his acceptance speech, he gives the greatest Duval shout out you've ever heard and redeems himself from that horrible just after he got hired speech. Duval. Tato, who do you have?
Are you guys hungry? The people of Chicago are hungry. They're hungry for some hot dogs. No, I will save the rest of that. I figured we are on YouTube. We don't want to get copyright strike and for my titties. They're copyrighted. With that said, the above the line answer is Mike Vrabel, but the answer is Ben Johnson. Good, better, best. Never let it rest. Till your good gets better. Your better is best. 1, 2, 3, Bears.
All right. Next, we move on to Assistant Coach of the Year. Finalists for this award: Vic Fangio, Brian Flores, Vance Joseph, Clint Kubiak, and Josh McDaniels. I go first on this one. Call it a homer pick, all you want. There were times the Eagles' defense was just cutthroat. You could not do anything against that team. And that is 100% because of Vic Fangio. Being able to take that ragtag team and turn them around. The Packers couldn't do anything against them. The Lions couldn't do anything against them. So many times that it was just a close game because our offense couldn't do anything. Our defense kept us in the game. Vic Fangio wins. Tato?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure you're just making this award up, but I'll go with Vic Fangio too.
No, I have it on the list. It's on there.
It is. I looked it up too. Yeah.
From NFL.com. Wait until I tell you the next award. And Jacob.
Yeah, it's hard not to go with another homer pick because I don't think anybody expected Seattle's offense to be one of the highest scoring offenses. But yeah, no, Philadelphia's defense, like you said, at times just looked lethal. And if Seattle's defensive coach was here, no. So yeah, I'll agree with Vic. I'll give it to him.
All right. And now the pick or the award that Tato thinks is made up. I think it's called the I did not take a screenshot of the name of the award, just who's in it, but it's essentially the Best Protector Award, presented by Allstate too. Best Lineman. This is the first year they're giving out this award. I am so mad because last year all 5 finalists would be the Eagles' offensive line. But your finalists for Protector of the Year, Offensive Lineman of the Year, we have Garrett Bowles, Aaron Brewer, Creed Humphrey, Quinn Meinertz, Penei Sewell, or Joe Tooney. Tato, name me a good offensive lineman.
Well, I definitely didn't. Like, for a minute, I didn't think I was going to get to pick any Bears. Now I get to pick 2. Oh, God. Give me Tooney.
And Jacob.
I didn't know this was an award. Let's go with Penei Sewell because that's just a fun name to say.
It is. No, yeah, straight up real award. This is the first year it's coming out. And as far as mine, Penei Sewell and Creed Humphrey are just legends in the game, even though Creed Humphrey's not that old. But just all around good all the time. Well, except for Creed this year. Like, did you see how many times Patrick Mahomes got sacked? I mean, not even the refs could help that man. But I will say one player who was brand new to a team really helped turn that offensive line around. Their quarterback hardly ever got pressured. And it's one reason why they became the number 2 seed in the NFC. I think Joe Tooney gets this win also.
Hey.
Yeah. So it looks like multiple Bears wins. Maybe we'll have to see. But that has been our predictions for NFL honors. Leave it in the comments. Who do you think is going to win an award? Because they're just giving them off left and right, apparently. But for Papa, that's me. For Tato, for Jacob, thank you so much for watching. If you like good energy drinks, scan that QR code. Tato, you thought I was going to forget it this week. I almost did. Scan that QR code, 10% off your order. If you like live streaming and you want to try out StreamYard, that's what this place is called. Link in the description. Gets you like 25% off your first month. So that's fun. But yeah, thanks for watching. Make smart choices. Or don't, because I really do not care. I'm not your dad. But I could be your